For lesson 7.2, the main topic is indefinite and negative words. So the most important part of this section for now is simply the vocabulary. And it's very key to understanding this because these are used a lot in Spanish. So first, one thing to notice about this is just the English definition of each of these. Algo means something, alguien, someone, alguno or algún. All of these basically mean some or any, depending on if it's masculine or feminine. O this or this, either this or this, siempre, always, también, also, and so forth. So one thing is just the English definition, and the other thing is to know that whatever is directly across from it is its opposite or equivalent. So you can see here, algo means something. We know that in English, the opposite of something is nothing. So as you can see over here, nothing is nada. Same with alguien is someone. The opposite is no one, nadie. And likewise for all of these ones here. So know which ones relate to each other and then their definitions in English. One thing I would recommend doing is, if you like using flashcards or Quizlet, to put one of these words, for example, algo, on one side, and on the opposite have its English definition as well as its corresponding negative or indefinite word. So for example, you might have algo on one side, opposite side of the flashcard you have something as well as nada. So there's two ways to form a negative sentence in Spanish. So you can either place the negative word before the verb, or you can place the no before the verb and then the negative word after. Now it's kind of tricky because the negative word doesn't always go after the verb. Most of the time it does, but sometimes it goes later. So you can see here some examples. Nunca camino a clase. The negative word is nunca. The verb is camino. You can add a no and have it be no camino nunca a clase by placing the negative word after the verb. As you can see, the opposite here, nunca, I never walk to class. Opposite would be I always walk to class. Siempre camino a clase. Or yo tampoco corro. I don't run either. Yo no corro tampoco. Place the no before the verb and then the negative word after the verb. For the words alguien, nadie, alguno, algunas, ninguno, since these refer to people, generally we have the preposition a before them. Since you don't have a specific person in mind, but you know it's someone. So for example, miro a nadie, I'm not looking at anyone. Since nadie referring to a person or the lack of a person, it would have the preposition a. Or no miro a nadie. As you can see here, the nadie, the negative word doesn't go exactly right before the miro, goes between a preposition, but that's because nadie requires that preposition here. Or miro a alguien, I'm looking at someone. So generally, these ones that refer to people, someone, nobody, someone, no one, and so forth, have the preposition a before them. One kind of tricky part too as well is the alguno, algunos, ninguno. So you can see here there's just a lot of variations to it. Algunos, algún, ninguno, ningún. The main thing is that before a masculine singular noun, alguno and ninguno are changed to algún and ningún. So as you can see here, a masculine singular noun, libro, tiene algún libro o no tiene ningún libro. He has some book or he doesn't have any book. And then here's for all the other forms of alguno, depending on if it's plural or masculine, singular, feminine, and so forth. Tiene algunos libros, tiene alguna mochila, tiene algunas mochilas. In terms of when you would use simply just alguno or ninguno, is when you don't have a noun or it's not directly before the noun. So hay alguno aquí. There's one of them here, or if you had it in the question, hay alguno aquí, is there one here? Or hay alguno de los libros, there is one of the books. So it's only before a masculine singular noun that alguno and ninguno are changed to algún and ningún. So one point to mention is that contrary to English, where there's generally you can't have double negatives. So you have the sentence here, I never write to anyone. Never is the negative word, whereas anyone is an indefinite word. In Spanish, you would have, as soon as you have one negative word, every other indefinite word has to be negative. So you couldn't have nunca le escribo a alguien, which would be the direct English translation, you would have to have all of the indefinite words become negative. So nunca le escribo a nadie. Or in this one, I don't ever worry about anything. I do not is the negative part, and anything is an indefinite word in English. But in Spanish, since you already have the no and nunca, the anything has to be a negative word in Spanish, so nada. Last part here, pero generally means but, and sino is but rather or on the contrary. So as you can see here, some examples. Los estudiantes no se acuestan temprano, sino tarde. So it's more of a but rather or on the contrary, this happens. Whereas pero is just the general use of but, like it is in English. Those glasses are expensive, but pretty. So having something that contradicts it, rather than simply expanding on it. For the homework, all you have to do is answer all these questions negatively. So for the first one, ¿tienes alguna falda? We know alguna is an indefinite word. The negative form of it is ninguna, since falda is a singular feminine noun. So we could say, ¿tienes alguna falda? No tengo ninguna falda. Or no tengo ninguna falda. Or tengo ninguna falda. Next one, ¿sales siempre los fines de semana? Siempre is indefinite word. The negative word is nunca. So, sale siempre los fines de semana. No salgo nunca los fines de semana. Or no salgo nunca los fines de semana. Or nunca salgo los fines de semana. So you can see there's a lot of options that you can do. There's not just one straightforward way that you can answer these, just because there are several ways of expressing the same thing. ¿Quieres comer algo ahora? You want to eat something now? Algo is the indefinite word. So algo, the opposite is nada. So, ¿quieres comer algo ahora? No quiero comer nada ahora. Or no quiero comer nada ahora. Or quiero comer nada ahora.